Good evening and welcome to Election Night in America 2024. Right now, voters across America are casting votes in the most important and tumultuous election of their lifetimes. It is a rematch of the 2020 presidential election 4 years ago between incumbent Democratic President Joe Biden and former Republican President Donald Trump. We are counting down the seconds until our first poll closings of the night, coming up at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Then sit back, try to relax, and buckle up because we are sure to be in for a long and suspenseful evening. All 50 U.S. states, plus the District of Columbia, will get to have a say tonight in who will lead the country over the next 4 years. It's a heated fight for 270 electoral votes, the number needed to win the White House. Election Predictions Official will be covering all of it tonight, and we'll be back after the break with our first poll closings of the night.
The journey of hope is not yet finished, but we are on our way. And the cause of change is not fully accomplished, but we are on our way.
No matter how hard they try to stop us, they can't. We built the greatest economy the world has ever seen, and we're going to do it again.
For the values that define us, for the ideals that inspire us, there is only one choice. America's best days are ahead, and yes, we are on our way.
And we will make America great again.
Voting is about to end in several precincts across Indiana and Kentucky, before polls close statewide in both states in just another hour at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And we have a couple of key race alerts coming in right now. Let's take another look now at the road to 270. Again, there are 538 electoral votes at stake tonight, with 270 being the magic number needed to win the White House. We'll be keeping a running tally here along with the map that shows you where polls are closed and what states to keep an eye on as the night goes on. And we have arrived at our first major poll closing of the night. Voting is about to end in 6 states with 60 electoral votes at stake. We are keeping an eye on all of these races, but especially the battleground state of Georgia, where we may get some early clues about where the presidential election may be headed tonight. Now let's take another look at the Electoral College vote count, the vote and where it stands right now. Donald Trump has taken a very early lead with 19 electoral votes. Joe Biden has 3. The red states we have called for Donald Trump, and the blue states have been called for the president, Joe Biden. The states that are shaded in dark gray are too early or too close to call at this moment, and states in a lighter gray have yet to see their polls close. It's shaping up to be a tense and very long night from here, but the one state to really keep an eye on is Georgia, where polls have had the two candidates neck and neck throughout this entire cycle. Prior to 2020, the state had not voted for a Democrat since Bill Clinton in 1992. Needless to say, a win for Biden in Georgia would point towards a very good night for the incumbent. We're coming up now on another round of critical poll closings here at 7:30 Eastern Time, just moments from now. That's when most polls will close in the battlegrounds of North Carolina and Ohio, as well as the state of West Virginia. Together, those states account for 38 of the 270 electoral votes needed to win the White House. With that, let's take a look again at the electoral map and the vote count. 5 electoral votes from West Virginia raised Trump's total to 24, while Biden remains at 3. Virginia and Georgia remain too close to call, and they are now joined by Ohio and North Carolina. Once again, 270 is the number needed to clinch the presidency. Precincts are about to close in 16 states, including 5 battlegrounds and the District of Columbia. It is the single biggest round of poll closings tonight. A whopping 172 electoral votes are at stake in the next hour, and we've got a lot of projections to make right now. Let's take a look at what all of this means for the race to 270. We have no projections in a lot of states, but Joe Biden has taken an electoral vote lead for the first time. He holds 75 electoral votes to the former president Donald Trump's 65. Polling stations are still open in many key states, and we have got a long way to go in many of these battlegrounds that are currently too close to call. It's 8:30 p.m. on the East Coast, and the polls are closing in just the central state of Arkansas, where there are 6 electoral votes at stake. And we've got an EPO projection coming in right now. And with those projections in Arkansas and Missouri, let's take another look at the updated Electoral College map and vote count. The former president, Donald Trump, has retaken the lead with 82 electoral votes to the incumbent president, Joe Biden's 75. Donald Trump has surpassed 100 electoral votes with that win in Florida. 30 electoral votes added to his total. He now stands at 111 votes nationwide, compared to Joe Biden's 74. Races are still too close to call in Georgia, North Carolina, Virginia, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New Hampshire, and Maine. Voting is about to stop in 14 states as the second biggest wave of results tonight, here at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, is just moments away. 156 electoral votes are up for grabs here at this poll closing, and we're watching 6 key battleground states, from Arizona in the west to Michigan and Wisconsin in the Midwest. And taking another look at the updated race to 270, Trump has maintained his lead with 138 electoral votes to his name. Joe Biden has 115. Just a few states' polls are still open at this point, one of which is California with its 55 electoral votes, closing at 11 p.m. Eastern, along with several other states across the Pacific Coast. With that projection in Ohio, Donald Trump has extended his lead to 40 electoral votes over Joe Biden. He currently holds 155 to the incumbent president's 115. As you can see, many states are still too close to call, while the number of states where polls are still open continues to decline. As for the national popular vote, Donald Trump has surpassed 25 million votes. He currently leads Joe Biden by 1.2%, though that number is expected to shrink and likely favor Joe Biden by the end of the night. We're coming up now at the top of the hour for another round of poll closings. Voting is about to end statewide in 4 states at 10 p.m. here on the East Coast, including the key battleground states of Iowa and Nevada. A total of 21 electoral votes are on the line right now. Donald Trump has once again increased his lead in the race to 270. He now holds 165 electoral votes, 105 shy of the magic number, 270. Trump also continues to lead the popular vote, though once again that is expected to change by the end of our next poll closing out west, with several Democratic strongholds still yet to report any of their results. Polling stations are still open in 6 states, with 13 states too close or too early to call. Following that round of key race projections, Donald Trump's win in North Carolina raises his total to 181 electoral votes. while Joe Biden's projected victories in Colorado and New Mexico bring his total up to 133. It remains too close to call in Nevada, Arizona, Texas, Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, Michigan, Georgia, Pennsylvania, and New Hampshire, as well as the 2nd Congressional District in Maine and the 2nd Congressional District in Nebraska. We're coming up now to the top of the hour, 8 p.m. on the Pacific Coast, 11 p.m. on the East Coast, but polls are about to close in 4 states out west, including key Democratic strongholds down the Pacific Coast in Washington, Oregon, and California. There are 78 electoral votes at stake, and we have some projections to make right now. And with that projected victory in the biggest prize of them all, California, Joe Biden has eclipsed 200 electoral votes, skyrocketing to 207 while Donald Trump falls behind at 191 in the race to 270. It's extremely close, but the polls have now closed everywhere except for Hawaii and Alaska, and we anticipate making a number of major projections in the next hour or two from many of those key races still out there. With that projection in Texas, Donald Trump has retaken the lead in the race to 270. He is now at 232 electoral votes, while Joe Biden's victory in New Hampshire brings him up to 211. And as expected, Joe Biden is increasing his lead in the national popular vote, with more and more vote coming in out of Democratic strongholds such as California, New York, and Illinois. That said, keep in mind that the popular vote has nothing to do with the race to 270. It is entirely separate. Democrats were always expected to win the popular vote. The question is, can they reach 270 electoral votes? We're getting closer to yet another poll closing, the penultimate poll closing in fact, at the top of the hour, where voting ends statewide in Hawaii as well as some precincts in Alaska. 4 electoral votes are at stake in Hawaii plus 3 in Alaska out of the 270 needed to win this contest. Following that major projection in the state of Georgia, Donald Trump is inching closer and closer to that 270 electoral votes needed to win the White House. He now holds 248 electoral votes to Joe Biden's 216. Just 6 states remain too close to call. In the West, Nevada and Arizona, and across the Rust Belt in Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. It's that time. We have finally arrived at our final poll closing of the night. It's past midnight here on the East Coast, and the polls are closing statewide in Alaska. And we've got a projection to make there right now. So with that call in the state of Alaska, Donald Trump gains 3 electoral votes. He is now at 251, just 19 votes shy of the magic number 270. Joe Biden trails far behind at 216, with just 6 states too close to call. The former president, Donald Trump, could win this race with a win in Pennsylvania, or a combination of any 2 states except for Nevada. With 20 electoral votes from the Rust Belt being split between Minnesota and Wisconsin to both Donald Trump and Joe Biden, Trump has now reached 261 electoral votes to Joe Biden's 226. And with those developments, the state of play is as follows. Joe Biden must win in Arizona, he must win in Michigan, and he must win in Pennsylvania. If Donald Trump carries any of those 3 states, he will be the next president of the United States. That was nothing short of a major projection for the Biden campaign. 15 electoral votes from Michigan added to his total bring him up to 241. He still trails Trump by 20 electoral votes, and he must win in Pennsylvania and Arizona to keep his hopes alive. The time has come. We can now project that Donald Trump has surpassed 270 electoral votes and will be elected the next president of the United States of America. After losing in 2020 as the incumbent, Donald Trump has come back and beaten the incumbent in 2024. Joe Biden has been unseated as president of the United States, and we can make this call because we project that Donald Trump will carry 19 electoral votes out of the state of Pennsylvania. Joe Biden's home state has flipped to the Republican column. And with that projection, Donald Trump has surpassed 270 electoral votes. He sits at 280 with that victory in Pennsylvania, with races in Arizona and Nevada still too close to call. And that will do it for this 2024 election night prediction between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Here is the final map. And I really want to stress once again, this is just a prediction. It is really meant more so for entertainment purposes than anything else or to be taken seriously. We are still not sure who the Republican and Democratic nominee will be in 2024. It just so happens that Joe Biden and Donald Trump are the odds-on favorites to be the nominees for their respective parties. Once again, this is just a prediction, more so for entertainment. But I hope you all enjoyed. Please feel free to agree or disagree in the comment section down below. And while you're at it, make sure to subscribe and like the video if you haven't already. Your support really means a lot to me and makes it a whole lot easier for me to keep producing content such as this for you guys, my subscribers, my viewers, those who enjoy these kinds of videos on this channel. So please feel free to check out more content from my channel here, and thank you again so much for watching. Tune in next time. EP out.